Rather lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. We're going to be diving into the latest around Arsenal. We are talking Thomas Partey has been offered a contract worth $200 million, $100 million per year by a club in Saudi Arabia. But this is not the interesting part, by the way. The interesting part is that there's still a rivalry between Al Nassr, Al Ahly, and Al Khaliji. Among those three clubs, there is still a bidding war, and Thomas Partey could actually get more money in terms of proposals in the coming days. He has not made up his decision, but he's very, very close to joining Saudi Arabia. It's going to be quite fascinating to see Partey go out there to earn 100 million per year. Arsenal, after Arsenal saying he's actually not good enough. We're going to be diving into that story as well. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. Do you think Thomas Partey is one of the best defensive midfielders in the Premier League right now? Now, Newcastle have done the unthinkable. They have signed Sandro Tonali in 72 hours. In 3 days, Newcastle have started and ended a transfer signing of Sandro Tonali. He's done. They're acting like a big club. Arsenal must be concerned about this one. And I'm going to be diving into our rivals doing business like big clubs. Chelsea selling players like nothing. We all thought they would actually struggle to sell players. They're not even struggling. They're selling players as if they had prepared for this moment. We'll be diving into that. Man United are very close to signing Mason Mount, and after Mason Mount, they're preparing a £40 million offer plus Anthony Elanga plus Harry Maguire to West Ham. We'll be diving into that as well. And Eddie Nketiah has made up his mind. He says he doesn't want to stay at Arsenal if he's not going to play every single week. Now, the player thinks that he's proven enough that he can score goals at the top highest level. So if Arsenal want to use him every single week, he wants to go. We're going to be diving into that as well. Hit the like button. Let's get this one to 500 likes. Subscribe to the podcast as well. And I want your thoughts on Eddie. Is he a striker that we can rely on week in, week out? That's the big one. Can Arsenal rely on Eddie Nketiah week in, week out? Because he says if you cannot give me, football every single week, I'm going to be out of the door. Right, let's get into it. First and foremost, Thomas Partey has been offered a contract worth 200 million across 2 years by a club in Saudi Arabia. Now, the club is not yet identified, but what we understand is that the 200 million will be paid and will be earned across 2 years. So Thomas Partey has been offered $100 million per year by a club in Saudi Arabia. And the interesting part about this story is there are three clubs still interested, and they're still trying to bid to win the services of the player. So this fee, 100 million, we expect it to be going up and up and up. Right? So Partey could actually move to Saudi Arabia in a deal that could earn him around 120 million per year. And I think many people will ask the question, why would anyone pay Thomas Partey $100 million per year? Now, listen, I don't think I understand how the Saudi Arabian League works, and I'm not going to profess any kind of professionalism when it comes to understanding and knowledge about that league, because it's a new league. It's a league that has been created weeks. It's not even months old. It is weeks old, and the way they're splashing money, it clearly shows that there are no FFP rules over there in Saudi Arabia, and because they are not under UEFA and under the Premier League, so you don't expect an investigation in Al Nassr, Al Ahly, and Al Khaliji. And of course, at the moment, the Saudi Arabian government is working directly with these clubs to make sure that they grow football in Saudi Arabia. So after offering Karim Benzema 200 million every single year, after offering N'Golo Conte 100 million every single year, the next player to earn such big, huge amounts of money is going to be Thomas Partey. Now, we understand that proposals are already thrown in Arsenal. From Saudi Arabian clubs. They want to pay around 40 million euros for the services of the player. Arsenal might want more than that, but now I'm telling you, it's gonna be very hard to keep Thomas Partey. Like, it's not hard to keep Thomas Partey now. It is actually impossible. Like, there is no way you're going to tell him that you're going to keep him at Arsenal while you pay him 10 million, and after disrespecting him and after telling him that you can, after telling him that, you have the permission to negotiate with other clubs, and now he has such a contract, he has such an offer. There is no turning back from this one. There is no going back from this one. We've screwed up. We've absolutely screwed up with Thomas Partey, right? So Al Nassr, Al Ahly, and Al Khaliji are the three clubs interested right about now. It is believed that one of these clubs has made the offer, or it could also be that none of these clubs have actually made the offer, and maybe it has been, Al Hilal who have made the offer. So look, I'll be letting you know of the developments of this story, but it's quite a very, very fascinating and interesting one. But these are my thoughts on the 100 million. If you're Thomas Partey and you're 30 and you've won the Europa League, you have won the whatever you've won in your career with Atletico Madrid, you've not won nothing at Arsenal, you've been offered generational wealth, because the Saudi Arabian league opening is not new. I mean, it's similar to what happened with China. It's similar what is happening in America. Those huge, crazy contracts from new football leagues, or maybe not from new football leagues entirely, but football leagues that are trying to overtake maybe the Premier League. Nations that think they can invest huge amounts of money, create a super league that everyone is going to be interested in watching. That is what what we are seeing. It has happened in South America before. I think that was Colombia, was it? It has happened in the USA, it has happened in China, and now it is here in the Saudi Arabia. So for me, if you're Partey, you take the money and run. You take the money. You're 30. You sign 200 million for 2 years, and if you want to come back in Europe, at 32, I think Partey can play for Fulham. I think at 32, I think he can come back and play for Nottingham Forest. I think at 32, he can come back and play UCL. He can go and play for any other team, right, in the UCL if he comes back at 32. So for me, this is easy money, strange decision, and it just puts us in a very, very difficult situation now, because Thomas Partey is going to be putting pressure now, knocking on the door, telling Arsenal, hey guys, you told me to find a club. You told me you don't want me anymore. Guess what? I just found a better club with better pay. Maybe not a better club, maybe not a better league, but I don't think in Thomas Partey's career, I don't think he's afraid of being away from the highlights. Okay, I know you're African, you want to be a UCL player, you want to do all this and that, but listen, what's gonna make him more money? Saudi Arabia or Europe? Saudi Arabia. What's gonna make him more famous when he goes back to Ghana at the end of his career? Saudi Arabia and the money. He's gonna build buildings. He's gonna build stadiums. He's gonna do whatever he wants. He's gonna earn money more than ever he will ever hope to spend, and his children will spend this money, and they will not spend all of it, and his grandchildren and his great-grandchildren will spend some of this money. So for me, it's a good deal, and I hate the way we are disrespecting Thomas Partey. I hate the way we think that because we dropped the title, we can push it on one player in Thomas Partey. And I just like the fact that he's now having such contract offers, and if he turns it down like Romelu Lukaku turned it down, he will be an absolute mark. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. It's the same thing, with me here. If someone just offered me like 100 million or maybe $10 million to go and do something else, I'll definitely go and do that. And maybe later in my career, come back and do, the podcasting. As simple as that. So Thomas Partey, I think this is a congratulations video. It's not where I'm gonna be ranting. It's just a congratulations video. But it just puts us in a precarious situation, because Arsenal have now lost two of their midfield pillars. We are not sure who is gonna come in. I mean, Rice is on the verge of signing for anyone. Romeo Lavia is a player that we would sign after sales. Moises Caicedo is off the radar. We have no midfield. We should do an emergency alert. we don't have a midfield, like, to be honest. But anyway, I really trust Mikel Arteta. He will sort the situation out. I don't have anything to be afraid of, okay? Now, Newcastle are acting like a big club. And I think Arsenal need to copy something. Arsenal need to borrow some notes from Newcastle. Newcastle have signed Sandro Tonali in a deal worth 70 million euros, rising to 80 million euros with add-ons. It is a here we go. It is a done deal. He was their priority this summer, and guess what? They just got the deal done. Now, I also understand that Newcastle are trying to sign 3 other players from the Italian Serie A, and you might not be scared, but these are the players. We are talking Tao Hernandez from AC Milan. After signing Sandro Tonali from AC Milan, according to Gianluca Di Marzio, they are also looking at Teo Hernandez, one of the best fullback in the world right now, in Teo Hernandez. They're also looking at the other name, if I don't forget it, if I do not actually forget it, in midfield, is it Fratesi? Because they were initially looking at Barella, but I think Barella is no longer on now that they have signed Tonali. I think the other name is it Fratesi? That I've seen that, the other player that they're tracking. They're trying to sign 3. Oh, no, it's Federico Chiesa. It's not Fratesi. It's Federico Chiesa. So Chiesa will definitely come in onto that left-hand side or right-hand side, depending on where Eddie Howe wants him to play. Tonali fits into midfield with Bruno Guimaraes. I still think they need another creative midfielder in that midfield. So imagine Maddison, Tonali, and Guimaraes, and then up front, Isak. You have Isak or Alan Saint-Maxima, depending on what the manager would want, or Anthony Gordon, and then Chiesa, and then Isak through the middle. Gordon, Isak, and Chiesa. That is not a UEFA Champions League winning team, but that is a threat. That is a threat to Arsenal. That is a threat to any team that want to stop in the top 4. And I think what Newcastle have done every single summer well is bringing in their signings early enough, letting them settle in, giving them a good preseason, and then when they start the season, they're like old signings. Look at how Steven Botman just sat in and became such a good player. Look at the season Kyle Walker has had after signing for them, in January last year. So they're trying to do the same thing. Sign Tonali in June, probably get Teo Hernandez in June as well, and maybe get Federico Chiesa in June. And I really hope they will get Federico Chiesa. I really think they will get Federico Chiesa. So if they get such signings, they would have a better window than Arsenal. Because for me, I think Timber is a good player, very, very good, like levels. Rice is levels. Kai Havertz is levels. But if we sign these players later, then Teo Hernandez and Tonali are much better signings because they have come in early. They've had a settled preseason with Newcastle. Newcastle are really making moves like a big club. And Arsenal need to start doing that. We can't chase our priority target since June. Because we knew he was going to leave, we should have told West Ham, this is what we are willing to offer. Deal or no deal. And West Ham says, well, it's not a bad offer, we will see, right? That just changes everything in the negotiation room. But for us, what we're doing is, I even know what we're doing. I'm not sure. We are simping. We are simping for 6 months, simping on Declan Rice. And we might actually not get him. So anyway, Newcastle, that's a good signing in Sandro Tonali. Does a bit of everything, but I think he would be more of the box-to-box kind of guy. I don't see him as a defensive midfielder. I think at Milan, he's been playing alongside Kronic. So I kind of see him as your guy that controls the tempo of the game, and that it means that you can push Bruno Guimaraes a little bit further forward, and we will see how that one actually goes on. Man United are on the verge of agreeing a deal with Chelsea to sign Mason Mount, and after that, they would love to sign Declan Rice. They are willing to offer 40 million plus Anthony Elanga and Harry Maguire. 2 players plus 40 million. Are you joking? Is this a joke to you, Man United? Like, is this a joke? This is a matter of life and death. This is a matter of who is going to be the next champion in the Premier League. If Arsenal get Declan Rice, plus Havertz, plus Timber, plus Lavia, we are going to be the next champions of the Premier League. If Manchester City take Rice, they'll definitely be the next champions of the Premier League. So that is how important Rice is this summer. And you tell me that you've offered 40 million plus Anthony Elanga plus Maguire. These guys are just jokers. They're just jokers. Like, really. They're joking, aren't they? Eddie Nketiah has made his stance. And he has threatened to leave Arsenal. He wants to play every single week. And he's convinced that he can perform and score goals at the highest level in football. So he wants to play every single week. Otherwise, he will leave Arsenal Football Club. West Ham, Crystal Palace, among the potential suitors. Go on, Eddie. Go and have a career. I don't think Eddie's going to have a career at Arsenal. I don't think Joe Willock... I never thought Joe Willock was ever going to have a career at Arsenal. I never thought Reece Nelson would have a career at Arsenal. I've never thought Alex Iwobi will ever have a career at Arsenal. I've never thought Rob Holding would have a career at Arsenal. I never thought Alexander Runarsson will have a career at Arsenal. There's so many players that have been hyped. I don't know. Like, these players just need to understand that the fact that we've not won the Premier League in 20 years does not take anything away from our legacy. We are still the third biggest club in terms of winning English championships in the Premier League. You're not good enough to play for this side. And for me, Eddie Nketiah, I've already said that. Now his entourage are realizing, and I tell you what, Crystal Palace is a nice shout. I gave him shouts yesterday. I gave him options yesterday. Crystal Palace, Brighton, Nottingham Forest. Which else did we suggest for him? You guys must remember. You must remember now. And I told him he shouldn't go to a club that is relegation threatened. He should go for a club that has that security to be in the Premier League for the next 10 years. See you soon. Love you.